Hi, how you doing? Justin here. Today we are checking out a really cool guitar technique called rolling. Now this one's actually a really important one because there are lots of times that we get notes that are on the strings next to each other in the same fret. And that's kind of awkward because you're already on one string, so what do? Lift the finger off the string and put it down on the next string? That takes quite a while, and especially if the notes are kind of fast or you've got to do it nice and fluently, it just ain't going to work. So we have to learn this technique called rolling. So let's get to a close-up and I'll show you what it is and some exercises on how you can work on it. So let's just start off by looking at that lick and see what some of the technical problems are with it. So the first note is here, the note A, which is the 7th fret of the 4th string. The next note is the note D, which is the 7th fret of the 3rd string. Now to get quickly from there and back by lifting the finger up, it's kind of awkward. If we do a proper bar, we'd end up having both those notes sounding at the same time, which isn't what we want. We want where it's individual notes. And then again, there's another where we can't use a bar because then the two notes will be together. To skip between them, just too difficult and too awkward with the finger. So we have to learn to roll between them. So let's have a little bit of a close-up look at that now and see exactly what's going on. So here we are, let's have a look at the first finger now doing some rolling. And you can see now that the tip of the first finger is on the 5th fret of the 4th string. Now if we want to play the 5th fret of the 3rd string, the finger needs to roll over so it's slightly flat so we can get that note that's on the 5th string. But what's also really important is that the 4th string is now muted. The tip of the first finger is still resting on the 4th string. And if we roll back onto the 4th string, the underneath of the first finger is now muting the 3rd string. So just by moving that action, you can hear there's only one note being played at a time. I'm not doing any muting with the other hand. I'm just picking it. And you can see at this point, the 3rd string is muted. And when we roll onto the 3rd string, now the 4th string is muted. So if I do, you can hear, hopefully, you can hear that little click there. That's where I'm hitting the 3rd string as well. We wouldn't normally try and do that, but I just want you to hear how the first finger is doing that little roll, and that's the technique that we're going for. Works just as well with the 3rd finger. It works well with all the fingers, but 3rd finger is another one. You end up having to do it quite often with the 3rd finger. With the first finger, all those kind of licks in blues, and again lots of this 3rd finger, all of those licks require the 3rd finger to be on the tip, then lay down flat, and now it's muting the 4th string and back, muting the 3rd string. So it's definitely worth doing a bit of practice with the different fingers, making sure that you can just get the actual feeling. I find it really hard with my little finger. My little finger is a bit stupid, and it just, I can kind of do it, but it doesn't really work very well. So just have a play around on different string groups. I'm going to try and force myself to do it with a little finger. Doesn't work as well for me. I think it's because it's such a stump. So once you've got the technique down, I would recommend that you check out this little exercise I'm going to show you now. It's a really good way of putting it into a kind of a real world environment, which is the minor pentatonic scale. So we've got the A minor pentatonic scale. Hoping you're familiar with that. And what we're going to do is try and roll over whatever finger is playing the scale tone where we can. So the first finger starts in the 5th fret of the thicker string, and that can roll over onto the 5th string, same fret. Then we're going to have 8th fret of the thicker string as 7th fret of the 5th string, okay, which obviously isn't a roll because they're on different frets. But then we've got first finger, 5th fret of the 5th string, and that will roll over onto 5th fret of the 4th string. And then 3rd finger will go down. The next note of the scale was the 7th fret of the 5th string. That one will roll over onto the 7th fret of the 4th string. Then we've got first finger in the 5th fret of the 4th string, and that one will roll. And then third finger on the 7th fret of the 4th string, that one will roll over. Then first finger again on the 5th fret of the 3rd string, that one rolls. Then we've got these two which don't roll because the 7th fret of the 3rd string, 8th fret of the 2nd string, then first finger again, 5th fret, 2nd string, and that will roll. And now little finger, 8th fret, and that one will roll. So from the beginning. And back down exactly the reverse. Worth noting on the reverse, here you've got to put the finger down a little flatter than you might normally so it can roll onto the tip. Here again, flatter than normal, roll onto the tip. Flatter than normal, roll onto the tip. Really nice little exercise, that one. Now if you want to get a little bit more hip with this one, I think a really, really cool variation is to reverse every second pair. Okay, so there's tabs for all of these, or both these exercises on the website, so you might want to go and check that out. For that one, we'd start the same, so we're going 5th fret on the 6th string, 5th fret on the 5th string, but then we'd stay on the 5th string and go 7th fret to the 8th fret on the thicker string. So we end up, it's like a little loop. 5th fret, roll over, then 7th fret, 8th fret on the thicker string. Okay, that's the first 4 notes. Now we do the same pattern again, but starting here now with the first finger on the 5th fret. So those were the same notes as we played before, but instead of going up here, we're now going to stay on the same string and then roll over the other way. So we're going 5th fret, 5th fret, same string, 7th fret, roll back again. I kind of see it as a little circle. And you could do it. So it's the whole exercise. No matter what style you play, learning to do string rolls effectively is going to help your technique and help you get through some of those difficult passages. So get yourself a little 5-minute spot in your practice routine for that one, and I'll see you for plenty more lessons and songs and stuff very soon. You take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.